Well, thank you so much, Chris. From the Rams up in Rhodey to the Aztecs and the Cowboys. Backdoor cut, Meyer. Pocket picked, taken away. Here comes San Diego State. They love to push it. Dixon Waters in transition, slides closer and got hit and fouled. Probing hands of Leland Walker there.
That's when this Aztecs offense is at their best. I believe when the ball's in Bird's hands after a missed shot or a forced turnover, he's such a good playmaker and passer, finding guys in their sweet spots.
San Diego State 5-0 in league play, tied for first with Utah State. And now zone from Wyoming. What are we seeing here?
Well, they ran this a lot in their last game against Nevada because they really struggled to guard the three-point line, but it was pretty effective as Wyoming forces a turnover there because they had the length and athleticism to be able to run an effective zone.
Well, San Diego State does see zone from time to time. The three-point shot not used in volume, but they're very efficient at it. Here's some modest pressure up the floor. That last foul went to Miles Heide as his first. These are two very foul-prone teams. In fact, Wyoming whistled more than any team in America. San Diego State isn't that far off from the elbow. Great wraparound. Good pause and the finish. Getting his first career start, Gavin Gores.
One of the things they worked on in shoot-around was those guard-to-guard screens that can cause a lot of confusion because you don't know whether you want to switch or stay home on those. It's great execution on the short roll there.
Want to look opposite Jeremiah Oden, the former Cowboy. His first game back at where he played several seasons as a collegian, was part of their NCAA tournament team in 2022. Walker playing with a foul, kick corner, rhythm three, off target, the soaring board for Bird. I can hear Peter Griffin now. Oh, nice, thread the needle, and Heide, the left-hand jam. What a pass.
Again, this is when their offense is at their best. When you get the ball in Bird's hands against an unset defense, he always keeps his eyes up in transition. Great find there from Bird.
Cowboys have Abu Magassa ready to sub in. Offensive foul off ball.
So here, a nice short roll there from Bennett. And then on the other end, how about this find? That is an elite pass from Bird and a great finish from Heide.
Yeah, the ability of Bird to drive. The preseason Mountain West Player of the Year, his scoring is down, but he's still impacting games.
Yeah, he just does everything. He's a jack of all trades. I mean, look at his numbers in Mountain West play, almost averaging 3 steals per game, one of the elite defenders.
Wide open Bird. No good, good. Box out by Caden Bennett. Bennett burst down the lane, had it knocked out of bounds, hit by Oden. San Diego State 5-0 in league action. They have won 5 straight. They have won 8 of 9. The lone loss to Arizona. Utah State also unblemished. They have a big game at home against Nevada after ours here on CBS Sports Network. Now, baseline trigger to come here from Walker against one of the better defenses historically in the Mountain West and the country. Walker given arm's length. Denied. Bennett lets it fly. Got it!
One of the things that San Diego State does defensively is they play boxes and elbows where they have heavy help side, even one pass away, because they believe their length, they can get out to shooters. So if you're Wyoming, you have to do a good job of being ready to shoot on the wing.
Kick to Harrington. This is an Aztecs team scoring at a rate San Diego State hasn't seen since the mid-'80s.
Just have so many options offensively.
Dixon Waters in and out. And another great box and board, and that's a foul as Bird collided from behind. That'll be his first.
You can already see a difference in the energy on the defensive end for Wyoming. All 5 guys connected, communicating, fighting over screens. Great start defensively for this Wyoming team.
You know, we spoke with Sundance Wicks, and he concedes and warmly embraces, yeah, his Cowboys can score, but his challenge to them, be more consistent defensively in league play where he feels they've yo-yoed.
We look at their last game, I mean, they gave up 12 points in the first 3 minutes of the game against Nevada. That's just unacceptable at the Division I level.
Walker, nice idea, but active hands underneath, taken back. Cowboys smooth, good look, off the fake. What a pause and finish. Abu Magassa.
Good recognition from Bennett off the loose ball, comes to a jump stop and is able to find his big fella. The nice finish underneath.
Davis, lead for Sean Newman Jr. He was a Dimes Dynamo at La Tech. End line cut, great look, and denied at the rim, a whistle and foul. Odin on the soar, Magassa, the whistle.
See a nice find here for Magassa, and it's a good start for Wyoming thus far. And then on the other end, you have San Diego State almost trying to throw it down. Have a good one here in Wyoming.
AA, the Dome of Doom, Mountain West action. Wyoming and San Diego State, their first matchup of the year. Two teams that put in over 80 a game. John and Trey courtside. What are you seeing early?
Well, I really like the energy defensively for Wyoming. They're flying around, making the extra efforts defensively. Then on the other end, I really like how they're executing a lot of slip screens, off-ball movement. So a great start for Wyoming thus far.
Yeah, one of the key elements that both coaches talked about in the game plan, it's understood on each side. San Diego State, it's DNA. They switch 1 through 5. How does Wyoming try to take advantage of that or counter that? What are you seeing? What are you expecting?
Well, I think what Coach Wicks talked about is a lot of guard-to-guard screens. Even when a big is on a guard, usually it's going to be Walker attacking a guy like Odin or Compton or Guath, and then trying to cause more confusion defensively, and then also getting those flares on the backside while that's going on so that not everybody just being stagnant watching Walker dribble the basketball.
Wonder what the emotions are for Jeremiah Odin. His first game back, spent multiple years as a Cowboy. That's how he broke into college basketball. 2022 was on their NCAA tournament team. Arguably at his best year at any stop the next year, averaged almost 10 a game. More of a role man with San Diego State. Cowboys off the up fake to Marion Dennis, getting time to shine. It's difficult to move the ball on the Aztecs. Uriah Rojas, the lead, playing catch with Bennett, 7 to shoot. 3 ball partially rejected by Compton. Able to briefly maintain and then coughs it up. Pharaoh Compton.
Well, that was a good job of Compton being at the level of the screen and communicating on the two-man action at the top of the key. Just wasn't able to hold on to it. If you're a San Diego State guard, you got to get the ball from him. You don't want to put your big fella in a bad position.
Well, Compton is 6'7", and his wingspan is 7'3". And Trey, that's another common thread with this Aztec team that's been there for years.
Yeah, it seems like they always just have somebody that has a long wingspan and helps them with their defensive scheme as well to be able to kind of play those gaps and get out the shooters.
Weak side, Magassa off the Adam Harrico miss. It'll be Aztec ball, subs for both teams. Guath is back for the Aztecs. Saxon returns for the Cowboys along with Gores. This is a noticeably larger lineup for Wyoming.
And you have to play with size. I mean, you talk about the length of San Diego State, and you got to be able to get in there and rebound, and I think that's their best offense, is getting rebounds, getting out in transition, try to beat San Diego State down the floor.
Cowboys are without Mattia Belic for a 4th straight game. He had missed significant time with a labrum last year. A foot injury has cost him time these last few weeks, most of conference play. Sean Newman Jr. had over 200 dimes last year at Louisiana Tech. Had almost 250. Set the program and Conference USA record. He gives to Guath off the up fake. Double comes. Trying to pass out of it. 7 to shoot. Guath holding that pivot. Puts it up. Short. And the Cowboys have it. Gores outlet. Bennett floats to Gores, cut strong, misses the bunny. Guath. Aztecs love to fly, roar down the floor, hang and hit. The high kiss make. Put in by B.J. Davis.
That's where Davis is at his best, in transition. He plays with such great pace, keeps his eyes up the floor. There's a great change of pace there into a burst and a nice fronter from Davis.
He leads them in scoring, and he comes off the bench at 12 a game. Quick trigger on the 3-ball. Dennis in and out. Guath just using the size, weak side. That'll be a foul on Saxon. Tomorrow, 2 Eastern, CBS Sports HQ Spotlight keeps you up to date on all the top stories, highlights, and in-depth analysis right here on CBS Sports Network. So foul to Saxon, his first. Yeah, by reputation, by pure stats, these teams foul a lot. We could be in for a whistle fest tonight with how physical they are.
And they also draw a lot of fouls as well. I mean, there's multiple ball handlers and decision makers for both of these teams.
Taj de Gorville Good idea, couldn't cleanly connect with Guath. Gores wins it. Odd-man rush, power play. Walker trying to Euro, kick corner. Bobbled and reset, and they try to reverse the ball. Nas Meyer's been quiet, had some time on the pine himself. He has been the go-to option in the last few weeks, coming off the best game of his blossoming career. Walker to Meyer, 3-ball, wide open, got it! He was a bit of a recruiting coup for the Cowboys.
And that was a great flare there, and that's something that they worked a ton in shoot-around by Saxon. While the switching is going on and it appears the ball handler is going to be playing isolation basketball, you had that flare on the backside, and all red eyes were on the ball, and it was a great read from Wyoming.
Well, Newman pinned in a tough spot, kick to Guath, a big who can shoot, 10 to shoot. And Davis gets bumped, and that's going to be a second on Walker. What do you do? He's got 2 fouls.
See here, Walker is playing isolation basketball, and there's just a flare from Saxon. It's something that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but that's basically an assist, because without that screen, you don't get the wide open 3 from Meyer. It's a great play, great execution, and a good job of putting into action something that you work on and shoot around.
So Leland Walker, who leads Wyoming in scoring on the year, 14.5 a game, now on the bench with 2 fouls. If you stay close, maybe you sit him the whole way. But if the Aztecs take a lead, you got to keep your eye on that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, he's the head of the snake for this team, and he's the guy, even on that possession, he had the ball in his hands, made the pass to the flare in Meyer. Meyer's definitely capable of making plays offensively, but a little bit more of a shooter as a younger player thus far, so it's going to be something important to watch.
Off a Heidi screen, brief switch. Davis stepping back. Inside to Heidi, got Gores in the air, hit the rim, rejected on hell, Saxon out of nowhere. Here comes Meyer. He is Guath. We could see a lot of this tonight. Pretty much every position for the Aztecs will defend any position.
Absolutely, you're going to probably see more bigs on guards.
3-ball, corner pocket, Guath weak side. Just over 8 minutes gone. Dead ball means immediate. Do the Aztecs need a breather? They came in late last night. That's been by design. About 36 hours for elevation to impact an athlete. Out of the corner, brief double. 13 to shoot. Now a reset. Davis, elbow J on the way. Got it.
Just so good in those high ball screen situations. It's a good job of snaking the ball screen, switching the ball to his right hand, sells the eyes to create space for that mid-range jump shot.
Shooting percentages a bit ugly early. A lot of action, a lot of men have played on both sides. They've both shown their depth early. Rojas, 12 to shoot. Offense begins in earnest. Dennis runs through. Kick corner. Saxon wanted a 3. Got it!
That was a great pass from Rojas because he sold it with his eyes as if he was going to throw it to the wing and threw the ball to the corner, which was 2 passes away. Because San Diego State plays so much help side defense, that shot's going to be there.
Oh, showing the shake. Bird puts it up a little short, little flat. Saxon one and done for the Aztecs. Wyoming, a great rebounding team. Up top, wide open, Gores! No, and Guath, a little bigger, has it. It's not really Gore's game. Only 3 made triples in his freshman year. Crowd thought he gave it away. Dixon Waters, 3, got it. What a response. And we'll get a timeout. Defense, we're going to see some tonight.
Yeah, you got multiple athletes on both sides of the ball, and I love the energy defensively that Wyoming's playing with. Heidi thinks he has an easy bunny. Wyoming thinks otherwise. 13-12 here early in Laramie, Wyoming. I want to take a look at this last 3 for the Cowboys, and take a look here at Guath. He's 2 passes away. A lot of times San Diego State, it almost looks like a zone when they're trying to play that pack line defense, and as we can run this right here. Now this is a great pass from Rojas, making the read, had his eyes on Guath and was able to just make that direct pass. That's something that you work on in scouting and understanding that San Diego State plays that pack line defense.
And Wyoming already with 3 made triples. Wyoming also sharing the basketball. 5 assists on 5 made buckets. It is a little surprising the Cowboys just called the timeout. Why do you think so? Now that's a look at the three-point difference in this game so far. Rojas, the ball in his hands. Leland Walker on the bench, picked up his second foul 2 minutes ago. Tip ball, Saxon wins it. Bennett with the screen, feed the screener, good pause, rejection on help by Heidi. Aztec basketball.
That was a good slip there, but you got to look weak side because the Aztecs are sending the house on any type of roll or paint touch.
Tay Simmons trying to post up against Meyer. Bird, Heidi flashes through. Bird got hit. And will that be on Magassa? That would be his second. No.
See it again here. This is a great roll from Magassa, and I believe on the opposite corner there was an open shooter. You got to be able to shot fake and get that ball out to the corner. And on the other end, I love when Miles Bird is aggressive and hunting his shots, especially out of the flow action, which is 5 out. It's kind of freelance play, and you had the freedom as a perimeter player to get into pick and rolls and make plays. Bird did just that.
Arco is back in. All the free throws in the game so far have been taken by the Aztecs. They've hit 2 of 3. Make it 3 of 4 as Bird converts. So some pressure shown. An escort here for Caden Bennett, brought in from Quinnipiac. He showed his versatility when they blew out UNLV in points, rebounds, and dimes. 3 ball on the way, rainbow miss, weak side, kept alive by Magassa. Reverse it, reset, Rojas. Off the up fake, Haruko, back to Rojas. 6 to shoot. Meyer needs to make a play. 3 to shoot. Fire. Heave has to come at the horn. Rejected shot clock violation. Got partially hit there by Simmons.
San Diego State team is so good at playing the plugs and helping, but then also getting out to shooters and contesting under control.
It's already 3 giveaways for the Cowboys, just 2 for the Aztecs, but turnovers have given San Diego State trouble this year as well. And Leland Walker's ready to come back in with 2 fouls. Baseline, Jay falling down, Dixon Waters.
Kind of like a Rip Hamilton action for Dixon Waters, where he is able to choose which side he wants to come off of a pin down. I love that set to get him an open look.
Rojas pausing, bounce on the end line, and a foul underneath.
One of the things that you'll have with heavy help side defense is San Diego State, as good as they are playing those plugs, a lot of times they can get caught ball watching, so you can cut behind the defense, and great job there of Bennett cutting behind the defense and drawing the foul.
A foul to Harrington is his first. First free throws for the Cowboys. They live at the line a lot, and they've been very good converting in league action, almost 80%. They hit 18 straight free throw attempts at Air Force to close that game.
They have so many guys that can create and get into the painted area, especially on the perimeter. And I think between Bennett and Rojas, both of those guys are kind of the X factors as we see Walker come back into the game with 2 fouls.
Is this the right time? Do you like this?
I do. In a big game like this where you're playing the top team in the conference, you got to keep him in rhythm and engaged in the game and trust him that he won't pick up his 3rd. But look for San Diego State to try to attack him.
He's guarding Harrington, an outstanding freshman. The preseason freshman of the year in the Mountain West. Slam on the brakes, Bird. Nice wraparound look. Simmons rejected. What help by Magassa. Dennis, the feed. Haruko and another whistle. Oddly, as fouls are picking up, I feel like rhythm is arriving. That sounds counterintuitive.
Right. See it again here. I mean, this is just mano-y-mano, meeting you at the rim, and just a great play. I mean, you got Magassa having to help initially and then getting back into the play to block that shot.
Well, the foul to Dixon Waters, his first, so 6 fouls now on Wyoming and 5 on San Diego State. Good headman to Simmons. What a pass! I mean, these are 2 touchdowns for buckets.
I mean, how about a freshman making that pass on the road? I mean, that's just a high IQ basketball play to hit him in stride like that.
How do the Cowboys respond? Walker Can they find any entry beyond the arc? Dennis pops right near the line three, somehow controlled by Haruko. Walker on help taken away by Heidi. Harrington surveys. Gets his man in the air and another foul. That'll be Magassa with a second. Well, we're seeing the physicality pick up and some pretty passing.
Yeah, I mean, that's just in stride. I know it's football playoff season. I mean, that looks like a quarterback hitting a receiver for a touchdown.
It's over 7,000 feet above sea level here in Laradice, so a special gift was given. This is the last scheduled trip for San Diego State to Wyoming. They'll be in different conferences come next year. So Sundance Wicks, who has true affection for Brian Dutcher, hand-delivered him some oxygen. Spaceballs 2 is in the works, I guess, right? So some Perrier is handed off. He says, breathe easy. You don't have to worry about coming to Laradice anymore. As we welcome you back courtside, John Sadak, Trey Demps, our CBS Sports crew. There's great mutual respect and admiration there. And he also told us, Sundance Wicks, he knew that Brian Dutcher would bust a gun over that moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great gift. I feel like I need that personally right now. I feel a little bit gassed making some of these calls. So I love the gift. I love the gesture. The friendship between these two coaches is great.
It's right there on the floor. This is San Diego State, lowest elevation, its own form of paradise right there by the beautiful Pacific. And Wyoming, the highest heights you can find in college hoops. It used to be there were travel partners in the Mountain West, which often meant playing elevation back-to-back that would even be more taxing. Leland Walker of Wyoming confessed it took him almost a month. He felt that the first time he did a shooting drill as a Cowboy.
And he says shooting on like a shooting machine where literally it just tosses the ball back to you, so it doesn't take a lot of cardio to get tired. So he felt it then and knew, and it took him about a month to adjust.
You ever deal with extreme elevation as a player?
I mean, in high school, but I was fortunate. I never really played in the Rocky Mountains or anywhere with high elevation.
Walker leave, Meyer hoist, and hit! Limited shots, but high productivity.
Wyoming's doing such a good job of getting ball movement, especially off the ball, especially when a big is on a guard. Bigs are not used to having a guard off-ball movement playing against a guard.
It ends a field goal draft for the Cowboys. Good shake, Heidi cut. Defense collapses, kick wide open. The lefty three rains down for Bird.
And I'll say this, watching Bird and shoot around, I covered this game about 4 games ago. He shot about 35% in warm-ups and open shots. It seemed like there was much more of a focus watching him shoot in pregame here today, and so you got to give him all the credit in the world.
They get a foul there, though, on Bird. That's going to be his second.
See this again here. It's just a simple handoff where you have Heidi having to guard a guard, and then Heidi on the other end making a good play in the short roll situation where the help side comes and able to find Bird on the opposite wing.
So does Bird sit for the rest of the half? He's got 2 fouls, and they have extreme depth. And San Diego State also subbed Heidi out, so they're a little smaller. Compton is back in. Cowboys need some points. Meyer, high kiss miss. Saxon tried to pave the path. Tracked down well by Harrington. Dixon Waters, no fear. Release and hit.
What I love is the last 3 games, Dixon Waters is averaging 13 field goal attempts per game. He's really hunting his shot. I really think this Aztec team benefits from it.
This is the largest margin the game has seen. Saxon, nice no-look. Meyer, extra give. Up fake, Dennis. Kick to Meyer. 13 to shoot. Up top, Dennis. In and out. And Simmons has a chin and spin.
Thought Dennis took one too many dribbles on that dribble drive. It's usually a one-dribble kick when you're playing against this help side of San Diego State.
Showing the crossover. Simmons on the spin, draws the foul. Haruko had him in man.
I mean, across the country, I don't know if there's many teams that have guys that can create off the bounce. I mean, looking at the roster here, I mean, there's probably 8 guys or so that can create their own shot on a given possession. It's such a luxury to have offensively.
That's a second foul on Saxon. So now 3 Cowboys with 2 fouls each. And keep in mind that the Cowboys, yes, on the year are incredibly deep. These are the teams 1, 2, and bench scoring in the Mountain West, 2 of the top 7 in the country. But Mattia Belic is out. He is sidelined with a foot injury. Jared Harris is out. He has turf toe, the Memphis transfer. So Wyoming is a little thinner than it normally would be.
And to go along with that, I mean, Gores is going to be playing big minutes. It's a freshman big going up against the size and depth of the Aztecs.
So here's the largest margin of the game. It's now 8 unanswered for Brian Dutcher's ball club, a 19-4 run, while the Cowboys have had a hard time getting buckets. They've missed 8 of 9 from the field.
But they've gotten good looks for the most part. There's been a few possessions that haven't resulted in a high percentage look, but you got to keep at it, keep continuing to run your offense and trust your shot making.
Gores getting his first time, had inside position. Off the up fake, Bennett right into the lane, but out much of a plan. Tie up for a jump. It'll be Cowboy ball, but they'll lose the arrow.
And we see Coach Wicks saying to kick. It's a 1 dribble penetrate kick against this Aztecs team. As soon as you take that second dribble, everybody in red jerseys is going to go for your ball, and usually it's going to end up in a tie-up like that or a turnover.
It was Taj DeGorville who tied him up. He's another man who's 6'5", wingspan over 7 feet.
That's incredible. I mean, I had a 6'2" wingspan at 6'3", so I'm very jealous of this Aztecs team.
Meyer trigger. Gores getting time. Meyer, their most potent scorer of late. 7 to shoot. Lost handle, 4 to shoot. What do you get? What's possible here? 4 seconds against this defense at this entry.
Well, I think right now it's got to be a catch and shoot situation because it's going to be hard to attack with 4 seconds, because usually to beat the Aztecs defense,
right,
you have to get multiple ball reversals, multiple driving kick actions, and obviously with 4 seconds you won't have time for that. So I'd probably look for something that Coach Wicks will run for just a simple catch and shoot look.
And now a better shooter comes in Leland Walker after he had a brief breather. Some cleanup there by our officials. Mike Littlewood, Nate Harris, Jason Phillips in stripes tonight. Normally a young person working the floor comes out and cleans up. Refs did it themselves. Meyer on the bounce, 4 to shoot. Meyer has to hoist, puts it up. Got rim, that was all. Out of bounds, it's going to be Cowboy ball. Immediately a signal to challenge, but no, there's going to be a foul on a push. That's going to go on Pharaoh Compton, who was saying challenge.
Right now, Wyoming only has 3 offensive rebounds. This is one of the biggest strengths of their team. I'd love to see them crash the glass more. See it again here. Kind of a heave from Meyer, and it's like Gores had pretty good position offensively. Had he played from the freshman.
1-1. And Gores rattles it in. That's not his strength, only 57% for the freshman, who leads the team in dunks. After he missed a bunny, was a little hesitant on another possession. 2 assistants grabbed him at the last media timeout and were very declarative in what they wanted him to do.
It was so funny watching shoot around this morning. They were running 5-on-0 sets as he makes the second one. And his head was at the rim on a certain 5-on-0 action. Coach Wicks was like, dude, we know that you can do that. Swing the ball. You're not going to get that in this type of game.
They haven't had a make in so long. Here's their first pressure in a very long bit. And now that zone again in the half court. Davis, jab step. Davis up top, flat miss, and ricochets out of bounds. Cowboy ball. Headed your way on AT&T at the half. Adam Zucker, Ice Young, Roy Hibbert, Gary Parrish standing by in our New York studio. Look at you caught up to speed in all the night's college basketball action. Head your way on AT&T at the half. A deficit that ballooned in somewhat slow fashion. How do the Cowboys get points? They put up over 90 a game at home on the year, but they've had a hard time getting buckets tonight.
They had an opening there on that possession. Leland Walker, it was a guard-to-guard screen where you get one of your guards is set a screen for another guard, and he had the pocket pass, but put the ball over his head. You got to make quick decisions against this Aztecs defense.
Walker looking. Meyer lingers on the wing. Gores trying to shape up. Meyer out of the corner. Short. Long rebound to Walker. They maintain. Puts it up in the paint. No good. Davis board.
Those are two great looks. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. Open catch and shoot three, and then a mid-range shot from your best player.
Oh, what a pass. And Farrell Compton can't quite finish. Gores got it. And a lead for Walker. Trying to find some action, some rhythm. And follows on misses, normally a big part of it. Good up fake and rejection. Gores floats it off. Oden weak side.
Thought on that one, Bennett had his big fella Gores open when he first caught the ball.
Transition triple. Jeremiah Oden, an ugly miss. We approach 3 minutes. Walker against Davis, who's a steals and deflections machine. Walker one-hands it to Meyer. In and out. And another one and done. Another board for Oden. Snap it to Newman. And he's bumped in transition. Well, Bennett, the whistle. Welcome to Laradice, where San Diego State looks to take its win streak to 14 in a row against the Cowboys. Where's Bluto? It's a toga party. That's the swim team here at Wyoming. They have brought it in such a big way that Sundance Wick said, we got to pay him back. So you come to our court, we'll go to your pool. There's the head basketball coach.
Oh, man, that looked like it hurt.
I could feel that. I could feel that.
That was a good dive from Walker. That was really impressive.
They had a lot of fun. Cowboys supporting Cowboys. Yeah, Sundance Wicks is a joy to watch. He's about as hands-on as they come for a head coach. So the students are still a bit a ways from being back in full session. The swim team, though, showing up, showing out. Yeah, Wicks was very integrated in every moment of the shoot today.
Yeah, I mean, especially offensively, because he knew that he was dealing with the gauntlet with San Diego State's size and athleticism. And, you know, they're 3 of their last 22, but most of those shots have been good shots. There's been a few, I believe, where Wyoming is over-penetrated, where on the initial action they've executed, but then when it becomes time to actually make the play, they've over-penetrated or not make the right read of passing it to the weak side. But you got to continue to encourage your guys. We're getting the right stuff. We have the right game plan. We just got to execute a little bit better.
First point for Sean Newman Jr. came in from Louisiana Tech, where he once had 20 assists in a game. He had almost 250 last year to set that program and league record. For comparison's sake, by the way, do you know who holds the San Diego State single-season assist record?
Who does?
Tony Gwynn, 1979-80. Mr. Padre holds the single-season assist record for San Diego State basketball. Leland Walker into the corner. Meyer, a lot of two-man game. Meyer, 5 to shoot. Screen from Magassa on a switch, got a big and a travel. That's 5 turnovers now for Wyoming, nearly matching their 6 made field goals.
Just watching Heidi on that possession, how active he is defensively, switching out to guards, not giving up drives, but also not giving up a wide open 3. I mean, this is just an elite San Diego State defensive team, which we couldn't say the first 6 games of the year.
And they did play a bit of a gauntlet of a schedule early. Out of the corner, off the up fake, Simmons, another great fake, and the soft finish. I mean, their best win is arguably Oregon. They drilled them. Oregon is probably not really that good.
Right.
At Nevada and Boise State, but their losses are Michigan, Arizona, Baylor. They lost in multiple overtimes to Troy. That seems to be the outlier.
And that first half against Arizona, they played stellar defense, too. I mean, they did a good job.
3-ball. Bucket. Had been 0 for 8, 1 of 15. The Cowboys convert. Caden Bennett.
Shoot 3 of 6 over his last 2 games. Started Mountain West play 1 of 7 from 3, so starting to pick up some confidence.
Heidi on high. Picks up the pound. Davis floats to Heidi. Saxon smothers Simmons. 10 to shoot. DeGorville slams on the brakes, puts it up. and in. That's smooth.
I mean, that looked like Paul George coming off that thing. I mean, great pace, playing off of 2 feet, get the shot fake, get your defender in the air, and staying on balance. That's a tough shot.
Cowboys, as we approach 1 minute, Aztecs by a dozen. They're looking like the perennial power in the Mountain West. Saxon, bounce, Magassa miss, put back, foul.
Again here, this is a great read playing off the catch from Simmons, the up fake, the finish. And then on the other end, Wyoming knocking down the open 3 with the pack line defense of San Diego State. And how about this? I mean, that's just silky smooth. Little slight fade action from DeGorville, knocking down the mid-range.
High arcing make. Magassa only a 51% free throw shooter this year. He was at 44 a year ago. The foul to Heidi, his second, so you assume he's done until the break.
Yep.
And Guaf is back in. Guaf has not been on the floor a lot, has been very quiet.
I think he had like a knee to knee in the first minute and a half of the game. I remember him coming down kind of hobbling after a possession where he was switched onto a guard.
And he's able to track that down and win it to Dixon Waters. He hyperextended that knee February 22nd last year against Utah State, missed the regular season, came back to face Carolina in the big dance. And a 10-second violation was called a little late. They apparently didn't get it across, but the whistle didn't come until 19 on the timer.
I mean, every blue moon you'll see that, and it's a good recognition from the official. I think as a point guard in Davis, you have to recognize that, especially to close out this half. I mean, you have an opportunity to get a 2-for-1 situation, and then you get a turnover there. It could be a big play.
They're going to take another look. They're going to go to the monitors here. In the last 2 minutes of each half, the officials can initiate and take a look. So let's confirm. Did he cross midcourt?
Looking at a possible timing error that the shot clock may have started early before possession.
So we get word that the shot clock might have begun before the possession began, and maybe that's why the internal timer was off for Davis.
Very interesting.
Because that's a very talented, experienced guard.
Yeah, right. And he even looked kind of perplexed after the call was made. Like, this is the kind of normal pace that I'd bring the ball up.
Yeah, it probably was hiccup by second and a half or two there.
Yep. And I thought he got it over.
He gets it
at,
over.
at the 20-second mark.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. He is totally over on the other side of the Cowboy logo. So I think both things happened there. I think the shot clock might have been a touch early, and even with that, I think he cleared midcourt. So that would mean San Diego State ball now with 43.4, and now they can look for a 2-for-1. So Sundance Wicks trying to draw it up. Now, these are two teams that both score just under 83 points per game for Wyoming, about 84 for San Diego State, and 34-23 right now. Let's get the word.
The shot clock did in fact start before possession by San Diego State. So we're putting 21 on the shot clock and we're leaving the game clock at 43-4. It'll be San Diego State's ball right there.
So San Diego State will have the ball with 21 on the timer to inbound right near midcourt. And what do you think is going on in each huddle right now?
On the previous play, the shot clock started early. There was no 10-second backcourt. 10-second call. San Diego State will take the ball in the backcourt with a new 10-second.
I think if you're San Diego State, you're going over a quick offensive set. I really like the set they ran for Reese Dixon Waters coming off of pin down. I see him right here in the left corner, so could definitely be something that they decide to run right here.
And here come the Aztecs. B.J. Davis. Off the pause. And one. He baited him there. He gets the hack from Dennis. Chance for a three-point play.
You get a flat ball screen, and then Davis just attacking with his right hand. You got to provide a little bit more resistance if you're Dennis. Make him switch directions. You got to be able to cut him off, but nonetheless, a great play from Davis, playing off of 2 feet, getting the defender in his air, and drawing the foul.
Misses the and one. Walker. Shot clock and game clock are very close. Only about 2.5 second difference here. They spread 4 along the end line. Walker.
I'd like to just see him play one-on-one here. Don't get a screen, because that will add an extra 5 seconds for the possession. I like this just mano-y-mano.
Walker against Davis. 5 seconds. Walker down the lane. Draws a foul. Went right at Guap.
You know, the funny thing about that play is Davis gave a complete straight line drive. That was probably the first time that he's had to match up on Walker one-on-one. And a lot of times, if you haven't been that active defensively playing the perimeter, you'll be a step slow, and Walker doing a good job taking advantage of that.
Now the foul went on the help of Compton, who hit him in the head. That's his second. So that's a bit of a silly foul to get. Granted, they're so deep, but now he is a third Aztec with multiple fouls going into halftime. Now there is time here for the Aztecs, 6.3. And a sub to the table for Wyoming and Dennis. Walker hits. Sub him out with 2 fouls. And we'll get the use it or lose it here from San Diego State. We'll take one as well. 36-25, 6.5 seconds. We thought we could see a lot of whistles. We have. Out of the Aztecs call timeout, they have to go to the floor. Bird is back for Brian Dutcher. Miles Bird with 2 fouls back in for offense. 6.3 seconds. It's Bird. Tipped. Davis gets into the front court. 2 seconds. Defender down. Bucket. They go coast to coast. Bird like toast. What a score at 6.3. They sprint the floor for a bucket.
And that was Gores who didn't talk on that screen. I mean, if I'm on Wyoming, I'm yelling at him, because you got to let me know that that's coming. And it looked like an offensive foul, but it really wasn't. And Davis just getting downhill, finishing with the left.
Oh, an explosive possession, and there is that hard screen, and Gore's behind.
Yeah, I mean, Arauco just gets laid out. If you're Gores, you have to be screaming, screen, so that he can adjust his position and get around it, and then he gets split. I mean, that's part of playing freshman, though. They're going to make those type of mistakes.
Aztecs 50% from the field, Wyoming 24. We are through the first half of play. After the break, to our New York studio, Adam Zucker and the gang. It'll be AT&T at the half. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk. The contest while we were away. The young men getting after it on the hardwood, 38-25. Your halftime score. PJ Davis brought it in a big way for the Aztecs.
The best way to describe his game is being opportunistically aggressive. He does a great job of reading when it's his time to look for his own shot, but then also making sure to get other guys involved. Such a good downhill driver, especially with that right hand, and then finish it off in the first half with the lefty layup. So good offensively.
His 8 points co-led the team and the game, by the way. 9.9 on that.
I got 8.8. 8.8. A little bit more hang time would have been nice.
What are you looking for here in the second?
Well, I think for Wyoming, they've gotten good looks. You look at the stats, 7 assists on 7 made field goals. That shows you that they're sharing the basketball, getting good shots. And so a lot of times when teams don't shoot the ball well, it's poor offense. I think Wyoming's playing good offense, though.
Let's take a look at some of the other numbers that jump. The special categories dominated by the Aztecs, including bench points, 19-3.
Yeah, I mean, we know this San Diego State team is just so deep, and even with Guath dealing with a little bit of a knee injury in the first couple minutes of this game, they have other guys that can step up.
How about this nugget, by the way? Wyoming just 24% shooting from the field in the first half. That's their worst first half shooting-wise since November of 2019 against South Carolina. Wath gets a look. Trying to tippy-toe that end line against Saxon. Help comes from Gores, falling away, in and out. So here come the Cowboys. Gores trying to cut to the cup. I was shocked Nazmeyer played 18 minutes in the first half. They took him away brilliantly. Bennett, good look. Gores gets his first dunk of the night. His team leading 20th of the year.
And a few mistakes on the weak side for San Diego State. It was Miles Bird who was the backside help that was supposed to come over on the roll.
Kick corner, extra pass. Harrington, shake on Gores. Fall away, free throw line, hits heel. Tapped, controlled by the Aztecs. Dixon Waters a little flat. Wath's got it. Trying to fight throw, his first points of the night. And one.
The last basket here, it was Bird on the backside who comes over late, tries to get a hand there, but he should have been there as this ball screen was happening, and just 2 steps late, and Gores with his 20th dunk of the season.
That's a 3rd foul on Saxon, so Wath the and one, coming off an 18-point game, his first points tonight, and the ricochet to the Aztecs, another possession. Saxon stays in with 3. Harrington explodes to the rim, layup.
Good job of Harrington attacking the ball screen. A late hard hedge there from Saxon. Harrington had the step and was able to turn the corner and finish.
Biggest margin the game has seen tonight. Good pass, extra give, backdoor Gores.
And it's that guard-to-guard screen that's caused some confusion for the Aztecs. That's the first time they've completely executed it, where you hit that short roll and get a lob over the top.
Bird. Nasty crossover. Euro. Can't finish. Able to stay with it. Meyer. Walker on the run. He cuts right at the big and draws a foul on Heidi. That'll be his 3rd.
Here again, it's a guard-to-guard screen with a short roll, and Heidi doesn't know whether to come up or to stay home. He kind of does neither, kind of like a deer in headlights, and a great pass from Bennett over the top.
So Walker goes to the line, 14.5 per game, tops on the team on the year, seeking his 3rd point tonight. Now, Brian Dutcher spoke with his Aztecs, in his opening words in his halftime speech, he asked them to be more urgent, play with more urgency. That was his message all week, particularly tonight in this game on switches.
Yeah, I mean, I think Coach Dutcher understands that even though they held them to under 30 points in the first half, they gave up some open looks offensively that Wyoming kind of shot themselves in the foot in terms of executing the latter half of the play. So a lot of that starts with urgency on the defensive end.
So here come the Aztecs. Compton holds. Bird picked up by Meyer. Harrington has the size advantage against Walker. Just over 2 gone to the second. A lead the balloon to 15. Compton cut. And a foul. Handsy before the arrival. Haruko.
Haruko was in the right position there. You get a Spanish pick and roll, which is a high ball screen with a shooter setting a back screen. He was in position on the roll. Just got, to your point, got a little handsy.
It's his first. Here's the zone for Wyoming out of the entry. Bird up top. That'll beat a zone. Stride behind the arc for 3.
And it's really surprising to see his numbers, shooting under 30% from 3. He has such a silky smooth jump shot.
That's what Brian Dutcher said in his availability this week, that he's waiting for and knows it'll come, that explosive single game that he showed at greater stretches last year. Out of the corner, Meyer hesitated, got it. And a knowing nod from Abu Magassa, waiting to sub in. Well, the Cowboys are coming out with their best offense we've seen since the first few minutes of the game. Now can they deny the Aztecs? Dixon Waters, one and done. Gores got it. Nice cut, fed in stride, bucket. I mean, their bigs are flying to the rim.
And it's against the unset defense. And those secondary transition situations is Harrington making a freshman mistake, and now all of a sudden we got the Wyoming crowd into it.
Brian Dutcher is telling his player, I was screaming at you to call timeout. I said call timeout. I said call timeout. They cough it up. Cowboys taking plumb advantage. What was a comfortable cruising game, back to 10 and some mo with Wyoming. Saturday, 8 Eastern, catch the San Diego State squad back in action. They host New Mexico, another Mountain West showdown right here on CBS Sports Network. From 15 down to 10, the Macarena here in Laramie. Let's take a look at how Wyoming has been running the floor.
And I love this playing against the unset defense of the Aztecs because you don't have backside help. When you play against the Aztecs against set defense, they do a great job helping. You see here a slip to the basket, and it was Reese who was not there on the backside, kind of hugging his man, and then Gorgeous did a great job of slipping out of it, and then it was Reese Dixon Waters who was late on the help side of the pick and roll. I think playing against unset defense in those secondary transition situations is the recipe for success for this Wyoming offense.
Gores closing in on a double-double. He's got 10 and 8. Wyoming has hit 4 field goals in the first 3.5 minutes of this half. They made 4 shots the last 15.5 minutes of the first half. Here's new life for these Cowboys. On the drive. Haraco gave it away, taken cleanly by B.J. Davis.
And Coach Wicks is beside himself because over-penetration against this Aztecs team is almost always going to lead to trouble.
Harrington, flick to Bird, return to Harrington. Screen by Compton, who cuts to the cup. They didn't see him. Bird glides, hangs, hits, and a whistle. The most whistled team in America, almost 23 fouls a game. The Wyoming Cowboys.
I'll say this, that was a great take in being aggressive, playing off the catch of the high ball screen. But for Miles Bird, I think he needs to develop kind of a mid-range game. A lot of times he's flying into defenders, and in those situations, you're kind of leaving it up to the referee. He needs to develop a floater, a 2-foot stop mid-range. You know, right now he's very much relying upon his athleticism, meeting bigs at the rim, and it doesn't always end up in success, but on that possession it did.
Foul to Magassa, his third. He subs out. Gores is back. We asked Sundance Wicks, is there anything to why you're being whistled so much? Is it coachable? He paused, he smiled, he said, you know, we might just have punchable faces. Meaning that they're the victims at times, he believes. But playing defense hard does mean whistles at times as well. And San Diego State gets whistled a lot as well.
Yeah, he mentioned that there's a lot of whistles that happen away from the basket, just being a little bit handsy defensively.
Meyer, they have denied him often tonight. Walker, 10 to shoot. Gores slashes to the cup. Meyer, quick load, off target. And the long board. Step out of bounds. Well, we'll step aside. 47-35. The Aztecs showing San Diego State can travel. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. 47-35, Aztecs with the lead. Gavin Gores getting hot early in the second.
He's been a beneficiary off those short rolls, either playing the short corner or being the screen setter himself, and he does a really good job of doing what's called kind of a back touch instead of setting a full screen, which causes confusion.
Yeah, not only the strategy, he's got 10 and 8 now. The points tie a career high. He's closing in on his first career double-double. There was a different bounce, a different energy with those buckets.
Yeah, he's a guy that has great athleticism, and he kind of goes, or the team goes with his energy that he brings, and he's just been great all around, flying around the rim, playing great help side defense, protecting the basket, and you know, it's something that as a freshman big, you can't count on it every night, but as you grow through the season and playing minutes, you can maybe rely a little bit more on that consistency.
Now, meanwhile, one of the other words that Brian Dutcher had for his team at halftime, he wanted to see shot fakes, and he thought that they could draw fouls from the Cowboys at a higher rate.
Yeah, again, because that's something playing against young bigs. They go for any shot fake.
So here's Compton, isolated against the freshman in Gores. It's a pretty shot. It's throwman game, the throwback game.
And he's seen his minutes drop a little bit. His last 2 games, 3.5 points per game. The previous 3 averaged 14.5.
Gore's great extra pass. What help by Bird! Oh, a fierce denial of Horico. There has been a swagger to Bird tonight.
Yes, there has.
He feels a double, holds that pivot. Great pass, Compton bucket.
You can make the argument, one of the most complete players in the Mountain West. So much that he does in terms of being a spark plug, energy-wise on the defensive end, making passes. So good.
Once again, back up to the biggest margin the game has seen. 6 unanswered for the Aztecs. Knocked out of bounds. 10 on the timer. And it was Bird again.
I mean, he was coming pretty much from the logo all the way down to make that block. I'm going to give one critique. I think if he doesn't celebrate there for a second, I think if he were to sprint the floor, I think he would have got the open 3 at the top of the key. That's just me being a little bit nitpicky.
Now, to his credit, as he subs out here, he had the deflection to tip this last ball out of bounds, and he was as excited for that as he's been for any bucket he's had tonight. Walker off the up fake, had a big Meyer hoist and miss. There's got to be a lot of pressure on that young man tonight. Oh, great feed to Simmons, just a little long. They were looking for their 3rd TD over top of the safety tonight.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I mean, I was a guy who played pretty big minutes my freshman year, going up against, you know, top teams in the country, and San Diego State team is one of the best defensive teams. You grow from it, and you learn from it. You go back, you watch the film, you understand, okay, playing against these type of athletes, I have to adjust my game in a certain way.
Bennett feed, Walker rhythm 3, got it. Second made triple for the Cowboys since the break, and if they're going to come back, they probably have to have some volume 3s.
Absolutely, and again, it's the off-ball movement, even after the initial action is, how about the season that Guath has had shooting the 3 ball? I mean, shooting it at a 60% clip as a 7-footer.
He is taking big strides behind the back. Walker, extra give. Meyer wants it wide open. Off target, Davis tracks it down. No, Aztecs up the floor. Hello, Newman. Screen from Guath, rescreen. Feeds Guath, put it up, flat-footed. When you're 7 feet tall, you don't really need to elevate, right? And a downed Aztec. Newman clutching at the outside of his right ankle from his backside. He's helped up.
Hope he's okay. I mean, he's been playing well the last few games. Last 3 games, 10 assists, only 3 turnovers in 13 minutes per game. So he's brought a spark, and you know what he's been known for at, you know, Louisiana Tech was one of the leaders in the country in assists. He gets in there and is able to create for teammates.
Well, Sergio Ibarra, athletic trainer, takes him back to the table. Walker with an escort of Davis. Help there from Odin. Saxon getting time. Over Guath, no, he denies. That was so quick. Now, you had said it in shoot-around today that, you know, there are going to be multiple times tonight. 3 ball is on time and on target. Knocked down by Taj DeGorville. You had said you're going to see 5s, true 5s, bigs guarding guards.
And you could make the argument that their bigs are better perimeter defenders outside of Bird than their guards.
We'll get a timeout from Wyoming.
I mean, just so much athleticism from the San Diego State team. Get it out of here, says Guath. San Diego State rolling.
.80 run, San Diego State's largest lead of the game. They are so deep, at times teammates can help push each other.
Yeah, I mean, even talking to Coach Dutcher, he didn't use this exact term, but there's an inter-squad competition. I mean, he said that I'm going to go with the guys who are playing well, and no matter if, you know, you're a preseason all Mountain West player like Bird or preseason freshman of the year like Harrington, it's like you have to come out and perform, or there's somebody on the bench that can take your minutes. That can be healthy as long as you have guys that are bought into the team concept.
Walker picked up the pound. Saxon 7 to shoot. Lead for Walker. 5 to shoot. One-hander Rojas getting time. Back to Walker. 2 to shoot. Has to put it up. Gray's net, shot clock violation. Oh, the Aztecs were the prohibitive favorite. For only the third time in Mountain West history, the unanimous preseason #1. Every first place vote, the only team to get 3 men on the preseason all-conference list. And yet, by stats, by the traditional margins, there is no real one guy that stands out. It's a team effort.
It could be anybody. I mean, it was Guath last game. It's been a little bit of everybody this game, and there's just so many weapons. It's a nightmare to prepare for.
Well, Walker. And once again, you can feel, it almost seems like the Cowboys have gotten punched in the face by these Aztecs. 3 ball out of the corner is off for Dennis. Able to get the offensive board and reset. Gore's ready to sub back in. Rojas goes with the screen. He's got a big, and Guath doesn't want that. Goes to Walker. Off target. Well, DeGorville on the trot. Surveys. Odin trying to shape up. Wide open Harrington. In and out. It'll be Cowboy basketball. We get a timeout on the floor. Another long run for Guath and company, ballooning a big lead. CBS Sports Network's coverage of college hoops continues next. More Mountain West mayhem. Nevada takes on number 23, Utah State. Well, the big Cowboy show going on down the road in Denver. We're going to have some big-time hoops to come. Another 2 of the top teams in the Mountain West. Nevada had a shaky start, has righted the ship in league play, while Utah State 19-1 in its last 20 home games as a ranked team. The only loss in that time came against Nevada. So the Cowboy, bit of a hoedown here, but the celebration for Wyoming after a 13-9 lead early evaporated rather quickly. Sundance Wicks and company have had a hard time both containing the Aztecs and getting points against their vaunted defense.
Yeah, it's starting to affect, the missed shots, their execution offensively. And I think if I'm Coach Wicks, I'm talking to my team, I'm saying, look, we have to continue to execute and trust the stuff that we're running, continue to get those flares on the backside, continue to get those guard-to-guard screens. We saw that one possession, we got the lob for Gores. You have to, this is a team that's a lot of new guys, a lot of new pieces, so you kind of get to learn how to fight through adversity playing against this San Diego State team.
Well, the Aztec defense, top 25 by Ken Palm efficiency for the last half dozen years. They're still in the top 35, but they're down a bit. Are they as good? Can they be as good? Do they need to be as good because they're scoring so much? Rojas, 4 to shoot. Just got too cute. Tossed it out of bounds as the timer was about to hit. That was a pretty good defensive possession as well for the Aztecs. I mean, is their defense as capable as it's been?
You see it on the rise. I mean, I'm sure it could get better, but I mean, watching them here and studying them, I mean, the defensive intensity and execution has definitely been on the rise.
And there are 2 freshmen getting a lot of critical minutes. What a battle here between Guath and Gores, 12 to shoot. And Guath puts it on the deck, and Gores brings the ball. Snaps it forward. Bennett rolls off the iron to Harrington. Now the Aztecs are scoring in the 80s. They haven't done that since the 80s. It's been a little over 40 years. Now the Aztecs are 5-0 in league play. They're winning those games by over 20 per. This is what they've done defensively in the last half dozen.
I mean, look at that number of 36% over the last 6 games. I mean, Coach Dutcher, as we see here, is just one of the top coaches in the country.
When he arrived with Steve Fisher, San Diego State was honestly a basketball wasteland. And they collectively turned it into a national power as Odin steps out of bounds. And they got there in 99-2000 as the Mountain West was getting underway. Aztecs had gone 4-24 the year before they got there, had 1 winning season, and had last made the postseason in 1985. Bird briefly went to the table and then got called back. Great cut by Gores. His best scoring night of his young career with a dozen.
That's a good job of Gores playing in that short roll, not rolling so hard, but just staying at the same level as the ball handler to get the angle for that pocket pass.
Guath, a rare miss from 3, board to Walker. We do get official word that Sean Newman Jr. has an ankle injury, will not return. He is now on the bench, and he's got his left shoe off and is wearing a slipper right now. There he is in a warm-up top. I think preparing for, or just had some other form of ice or treatment on there. He had been on the table for a long stretch with athletic trainer Sergio Ibarra. So now Bird is back in, and as well as this whole Aztec team has played on the night, to me they've been their best when Bird has been right at the heart of both sides.
Yeah, Dixon, Waters, and Bird, to me, in terms of postseason success, are the keys, because they need those guys to be aggressive, because they have the talent and capability to create and make plays.
DeGorville off the fake goes right at the big. That's altered and denied. Numbers for the Cowboys. Off the bounce, rejected by Bird. Cowboys maintain. Walker off the fake. He felt DeGorville creeping in.
This is a tough game for Walker, because he's a guy that relies heavily on penetration. He's a little bit undersized. With how much the Aztecs help, he hasn't been able to get into the painted area.
Aztecs have blocked 6 tonight. Walker gets that one.
He must have heard, because as soon as I say that, what does he do? Get to the painted area.
By the way, you asked him what his plans were whenever his basketball days are done, collegiately and professionally. His answer seemed to surprise you a bit.
Yeah, be a high school coach, get back to his community, growing up in Indianapolis.
DeGorville kick to Bird for 3. Rainbow miss. Saxon rebound. We approach 8 minutes. Well, the Aztecs haven't scored in 4.5. There's a lid on that cup for Bennett. And San Diego State has missed its last half dozen from the field. Slight hiccup. And that's where, if you're nitpicking this 5-0 start in conference play, there have probably been windows in some of those games where San Diego State could have just hit the accelerator, put teams away. Dixon Waters.
And to me, he's the guy that can really, like, single-handedly put a team away. His shot-making ability, and, you know, as I mentioned before, 13 field goal attempts over the last 3 games. When he's aggressive in the half court, this Aztecs team is really hard to stop.
Nice pass by Walker. Magassa gets hit. We'll step aside. 7.5 to go. A gaudy lead for Brian Dutcher and company. One last run. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Well, the Aztecs have brought it on the road, up 20 here at the AA. Their last trip to Laramie. They'll be bound for the Pac-12 next year, trying to claim a Mountain West crown in their last run. They have been the force in this league for a long time. They've been to the championship 7 of the first 8 years with Brian Dutcher as the head coach. There are only 2 teams, 5 games in the conference play, still undefeated in league. These Aztecs and number 23 Utah State, which will be on our air next.
Utah State has a heck of an offensive team led by MJ Collins, the Vandy transfer, kind of had a limited role there and has really exploded offensively for Utah State.
A top 7 outside shooter in the country. So the last foul went to Heidi as his 4th. Now Magassa at the line, only a 51% shooter. By the way, some love to those who don't get the spotlight much. Now, 2 outstanding sports information directors here. They're the PR folks. They create game notes. They help give us information. They tell the story of these players and coaches. And Nick Seaman with Wyoming and Richard Stern with San Diego State. Longtime veterans. There is Richard Stern right behind Brian Dutcher, right alongside voice of the Aztecs, John Schaefer. You spend a half hour with the man. You're going to cry. You're going to laugh. You're going to learn something. And he doesn't want to be shown. But the truth is, we can't do our jobs as well as we do without those men.
Covering these games, I mean, there's nobody who's more prepared and has more useful information.
Now against the Wyoming zone, they go to that nail, Simmons. Before he just subbed in at that last media, he had been plus 22.
Yeah.
Tay Simmons.
I mean, he's a guy who's shooting almost 70% from the field.
Rojas. Haraco in a bad spot, trying to fight through it, draws the foul. Well, that will go on Simmons. And Simmons, part of the really talented freshman class that's buoyed this Aztec team significantly.
This Aztec team has a bright future, and outside of Odin and Newman, I mean, they got guys who have eligibility remaining.
Yeah, it used to be such a defensive culture for San Diego State, built on that connectivity of experience. The upperclassmen would challenge the freshmen. How are you going to play? How are you going to get minutes?
Yeah.
You better defend. You better defend your butt off. These freshmen do that already.
And that's part of the culture of kind of that inter-squad competition, is if I don't perform in the minutes that I'm given, it's not guaranteed that I'll get those minutes again. So sometimes when you know that you're going to get minutes, sometimes you kind of lax on defense. Not the case with this Aztecs team.
Bird, nice give. Simmons just drops the shoulder into the chest, can't squeeze it home, gets his own miss and puts it back. Oh, and now pain on the floor for Haraco. He's clutching at his right hip and writhing in pain as he's helped up.
For a freshman, Simmons is super built. Such strong upper body strength, doing a good job playing off the catch, utilizing the spin and shot fakes, and sticks with it. But that's a whole lot of force coming at you.
Oh, Haraco, aided by athletic trainer Dallas Fitcher. Well, here come the Cowboys. Meyer. Still a lot of time, and Meyer up top misses a three. Saxon couldn't hold on to it, out of bounds. It'll be Aztec ball. What stands out to you as you look at the Mountain West right now?
Well, New Mexico. I mean, I don't think anybody expected them with such a young team. And how about the season that Jake Hall has had, one of the best guards in the Mountain West. But they have depth, they have size. Bullion, one of the best bigs in the Mountain West. I think they're the biggest surprise as I look at this conference.
Yeah, they are now 5-1 in league. They crushed Grand Canyon yesterday. You'll have the call for Aztecs Lobos on Saturday.
That's going to be a heck of a game.
Dixon Waters, 6 to shoot, staying calm. Good high-low, too deep for Compton. Gave it away with 2 on the timer. 5 on 4 for the Cowboys. And a bad pass behind Saxon. Trying to clean it up. Put it on the deck in a bad spot. Tumble from his backside. Rojas puts it up and in. First field goal make in almost 3.5 minutes for the Cowboys.
Rojas can really shoot it. 4 games this season with 3+ three-pointers. Doing a good job collecting the loose ball, getting his feet set, and knocking it in.
Had 6 in 1 game against Austin Peay. One of my favorite nicknames, by the way, in
yeah.
sports. The Governors. Davis. Hard denial of Farrow. Dixon Waters, 4 to shoot. Puts it up. And off target. Saxon's got a good boxing board. Meyer, opposite. There's Rojas. You said he can shoot. Just off.
When you look at the film after this game, Wyoming has had so many open catch-and-shoot threes that they haven't converted on. 8 of 30. I would say probably 25 of those have been good looks. It's like if you can make maybe 12 of them,
great
put
feed.
yourself in the ballgame.
Am I off here, Trey? So there's all this talk about elevation, rightfully so, and the Aztecs have to travel into it. When I watch these two teams right now, I feel like it's the Cowboys who are a little gassed.
Yeah.
Walker, and help from behind, a foul. Over 7,000 feet above sea level, a place where the Cowboys rarely fall. Aztecs in convincing fashion. Let's take a look at tonight's Old Trapper Beef Jerky Player of the Game. Who you got, Trey?
Look at this Miles Bird. He's got 12 points, but does so much other than scoring in terms of being the spark plug defensively, moves without the basketball, gets his hands on balls on the defensive end, averaging almost 3 steals per game in Mountain West play. You know, obviously hasn't had offensively the year that we might think he would have had being the preseason player of the year in the Mountain West, but just does so much to impact winning.
Yeah, Bird, the deflections, the energy, it's exactly what Brian Dutcher kind of sparkled about. And how about these young guys? You know, home teams down pretty big, you can still find a way to have a good time.
Yeah.
Had a basketball game here tonight in Laramie, and Leland Walker puts it in. So we have under 4 minutes. Yeah, there's a pretty convincing lead here. The game's not done, but it does feel a decent hand. How are you trying to finish? What is each side looking for in these last 4 minutes?
Well, I think if you're Wyoming, you want to try to win these last 4 minutes and, you know, continue to play hard. You know, it's part of building culture is playing 40 minutes no matter what the scoreboard is Dixon Waters gets into the paint. And then for the Aztecs, you just don't want any slippage. You're playing some of your best basketball this season. You want to continue to have those good habits.
Walker slams on the brakes. Rojas. Meyer hasn't been shy. That's another miss, though. Now, Meyer tonight, 3 of 13 from the field, 3 of 12 from deep. And a lot of them have been decent looks. Oh, old school reverse for Odin.
Good job of Dixon Waters getting to the middle of the floor when Davis was trapped by 3 guys.
Now, this is once again the biggest margin the game has seen tonight. Tip ball back to Walker. Gores has been quiet. Another tip ball. Nice feed by Gores and a foul. Still to come when we are done. It will be more college hoops. Nevada will battle with number 23, Utah State. Dave Ryan, John Henson will have the call. The Aggies getting it done. You mentioned M.J. Collins Jr. What a year.
Man, I mean, you look at those 3-point numbers. 48% from 3. He can really shoot it with range and is a terrific athlete.
No subs for the Aztecs. Could these be the last minutes for Dixon Waters and Davis? 3 ball off, foul in pursuit of the loose ball. What have you learned about the Aztecs here tonight?
I mean, I think they've stamped the fact that they're a complete team. They're elite offensively, as the numbers show, have so many options, but defensively too, just following the game plan. I mean, you see, again, that doesn't show up on the stat sheet for Bird, but it's one of those plays that disrupts the flow in offense and leads to a turnover.
The last foul, by the way, went to Odin as his second. 2-on-1 to Goreville. I mean, there's such a calmness about the way they run the floor.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who has the ball in their hands in transition, whether it's Harrington, whether it's Davis, whether it's Bird. Those guys make the right play almost every time in transition.
Elbow J, tipped by Gores, controlled by the Aztecs. It's almost like there's a sense of familiarity and anticipation that's normally reserved for teams that play together for 3-4 years.
I mean, relatively speaking, I mean, this is a team that has been able to retain a lot of talent.
Odin's Raven, an air ball there. And the Cowboys at the other end. Yeah, they brought back 62% of their minutes. Oh, and it looks like Bird was hurt as he was trying to reach in and poke the ball on that spin. He already has a brace on the thumb area of that right hand, and he pulled that hand back and barked out loud.
Yeah, you saw right after the spin. I mean, Bird is not a guy that's going to quit playing, so you know it's got to be pretty painful. I mean, the plus is it's on his offhand. It's not on his shooting hand. So, you know, even though that guide hand can affect your jump shot a little bit, it's a lot better than being on your shooting hand. Let's look at it again here. Just getting his hands in the cookie jar and, yeah, just probably caught the body there at Meyer.
And so Meyer, who's a very strong free throw shooter, his first free throws tonight. And those are 2 under-the-radar injuries right now for a very deep Aztec team. They got a huge game with New Mexico to come on Saturday. Newman left with an ankle, did not return, and now you see the pain as they examine that thumb area on that non-shooting right hand for Bird.
I'd imagine over the next 48 hours, both those guys are going to spend a lot of time icing and being in the training room.
Well, Meyer converts. That snaps a mini 6-0 run. Under 2 minutes, Harrington. They break the pressure easily. Oh, great look inside. And a foul. And that's another example. I mean, one guy cuts, and it's before he even takes the step. I feel like the pass is coming.
They have really good cutters, too, along with good decision makers. You look at DeGorville, Oden, Simmons. All three of those guys especially are really good off the ball.
Last foul to Magassa, his 4th. DeGorville backs it up. There's that zone again from the Cowboys. Oden contested, rejected by Saxon. Now the funnel to Rojas. Dennis has been quiet. Meyer on high. Got it. It's his first made field goal in a while. Well, he's got 13 now to lead the team. Davis. Harrington off the Guath screen. Tipped and taken away. Meyer into the corner. Quick load for Dennis. Got it.
Good. For the Aztecs, you don't want to end this game on a bad note, even after a win, because a lot of the habits that happened in the last 3 minutes of the game will carry over, especially with such a quick turnaround.
And they don't charter all that much. They did for this trip in part to make sure they're back tonight, to minimize the impact of elevation and make sure they're ready for a Lobo team that played yesterday. About an 18-second differential. Davis down the lane, floats it up. Oden couldn't convert. Timer off. Saxon nearly traveled. And a whistle. Now San Diego State going to 6-0. A 12th win on the year. And Utah State, which will be on our air next, will try to match that mark against Nevada. You can see that top tier of the Mountain West. Foul to Davis, his first. A miss. 15 seconds. Guath giving up the body. And with the timer off, Davis can hold.
Great adjustment. Thank you.
Well, the San Diego State Aztecs have dominated the Cowboys for years. 14 straight wins head-to-head against Wyoming. Final score 74-57 as Brian Dutcher and San Diego State come to Laramie for likely one final time.